Alright everybody, welcome back to another B-Mother review, and of course the character here on my left needs no introduction. This of course is one of the most popular fictional characters ever created. It's Darth Vader from Star Wars fame, and I actually looked up lists of most popular characters of all time, and he's right up near the top of every single one I found, right in the top 10. He's up there with Mickey Mouse, he's up there with Superman, Batman, and surprisingly to me, Super Mario is on most of those lists. And I guess it's not that surprising when you sit down and think about it, but I did not expect Super Mario to be on the top of those lists. So anyways, Darth Vader, and why wouldn't he be one of the most popular characters? I mean, look at him. He's so intimidating with his all-black costume. It's an awesome looking costume, great mask and helmet. He's mysterious, he's intimidating, he's powerful, and of course he's got the great voice from James Earl Jones. Alright, so this piece here is 1/4 scale. It's made by Iron Studios. Now Iron Studios had a bit of a rough go last year when they released their Spider-Man, and it had quite a few issues with it. But they've slowly been on the path of redemption since then. Now this piece, Darth Vader, does this put them back near the top of the elite statue producing companies? Let's get in the review and find out. Alright, so like we always do, we're going to jump into the sculpt and design on this statue first. And I gotta say, I love this sculpt. I think it really captures an intimidating pose for Vader. I mean, he's just kind of walking forward, but that's all Vader needs to do to scare the crap out of you. This guy is just badass from head to toe. So let's take a look at what they've done with the costume here. And I love the texturing on the arms and legs, the quilted pattern, the wrinkling. It looks like real fabric, but it's fully sculpted. And then you look at the gloves. You got the quilted pattern on the top of the gloves, and then the leather pattern on the wrist part. Looks really, really good. Again, looks like real fabric, but it's fully sculpted. The boots, I love the shin guards. The leather texture on the boots. You can see on the back here, on the feet. They've sculpted some snow around the soles of his boots. The lightsaber handle, the chest piece, the panel on his chest, the boxes on his belt. They've done such a good job with the sculpt here. And I know movie accuracy is one of the biggest concerns for a lot of Star Wars collectors, and I can't say if this is entirely 100% movie accurate. I don't think anything out there probably is, but I think this is really, really close. Now, of course, this is not an exact scene out of the movie, but again, it captures the essence of Vader, I think. Just total intimidating pose. And then we get to the helmet, probably the most important part of any Vader statue, and I think they've done a fantastic job. Again, I don't know if it's 100% movie accurate, but I think it's really, really close, and I think a lot of Star Wars collectors will really love it. Now, as far as design, I touched on the pose a little bit. They've given him this really intimidating, menacing pose. He's coming at you, and you probably don't stand much of a chance against him. And you can tell right away by looking at him. He means business. The base, you can see by the snow on the base. This is the Echo base on Hoth. He's leading the invasion of the base as he does in The Empire Strikes Back. And you can tell that obviously right away from the snow base. Unless you're my wife, who immediately said, "When was Darth Vader ever in snow?" And I just had the face palm. It's like, we've been together for 18 years. Have I taught you nothing? I mean, Darth Vader on snow. Obviously Empire Strikes Back. And they've got some, characteristic elements of that Echo base with these conduits. We got the light up feature here. The broken pipe and things. So they've tried to mimic that style closely, even though, like I said, this might not be ripped directly from a scene in the movie. So everyone knows what it is, where it's from. Great job on this sculpt and design. I really, really love it. I think they did an amazing job. Alright, so we're going to move on to paint and mixed media on this statue, and you'll notice right away I've switched up the display options. There's quite a few display options for this piece that we'll get into in the next segment, but for now I've gone with this sort of hand forward using the force power option here. And you'll notice the lightsaber, I've taken it out of his hand. It comes with a separate little lightsaber to put on his belt with a little metal D-ring there. And there's a hook on his belt and you can hang that there. So they haven't missed any details on this statue. So start off with mixed media on the cape, and you'll look, most of the cape here is sort of like a matte black, nice smooth fabric there. And this is actually a friend of mine's statue, so he's lent it to me for this review, and he took the time to actually iron the cape out of the box because it comes quite wrinkly, and you can see it looks really, really good. And he actually shaped it all for me too when he came set it up. He did a great job with the billowing cape feature. There's a wire along the base and up the sides here, so you can shape that any way you want. And then you look at the inside of the cape and you've got this sort of satin material here, nice shiny material in there, nice and soft. And then around the collar you've got a leather or a faux leather finish there. You've got the chain that goes across the neck, across the collarbone to connect it. I mean, the cape is fantastic. And you'll also notice the sort of dirty snow pattern along the lower edge as well. So the cape is fantastic. It might be a little bit big. It's a little hard to shape and pose, I'm told. I didn't do it for this guy, but maybe it could have been a little bit smaller. His robe is also a mixed media material, and there's wires in that as well, so you can pose that too. Okay, so mixed media, really nice on this statue. The paint on the base is quite nice. It's snow, it's white, it looks good. The pipes and the conduit have a nice metallic finish to them, and the base looks really good. But where this statue really sets itself apart is the paint on Vader himself. Now, you might say, well, his costume's mostly black. How good can it be? But that's what really blows me away, is they've really managed to use different sheens of black on different parts of the costume to set those different elements apart. So let's look at the boot. The boot has a nice sort of matte leather finish to it, whereas the shin guards have this real nice shiny gloss armor look to them. And same thing around the chest piece here. They've alternated with a gunmetal gray to black, and it looks really, really nice. The mask has a nice gunmetal finish around the neck part, and then you got the black and gray in other areas. Nice glossy finish to the dome helmet. They've done such a nice job there. And then you look at the arms and the legs, the quilted material there has a little bit of a different finish from the boots and from the gloves. I mean, like I said, they've managed to create this separation between them and give it really a unique look. And I think they did an excellent job on the paint. There's nothing, no lines out of place. They've done a really good job with the quality of the paint application. All of the boxes here, there's a little bit of wear around the edge of these boxes, so that they put on there. That looks really nice. All the buttons, the chest piece pops out there, and you can see the lights flashing. So it does have a light up feature, but the chest piece, they've done a nice job painting there. No lines out of place on that either. It's really a fantastic paint job, and the mixed media is great as well. So again, top marks to Iron Studios for paint and mixed media. Alright, so before we move on here, I just want to mention one thing I forgot in the paint segment, and that is the lenses on the mask, the eye lenses. They've given it sort of an amber finish there, and it really gives the appearance that there's something in behind there, that it's an actual lens. And it just adds to that great paint job. A really, really cool feature on the mask there. So let's move on to production and build quality. You can see I've got parts all over the table here. I haven't taken Vader off the base. He fits on pretty simply with a peg under his right foot. And then the head also just fits on with a magnet. Obviously you put the cape on first and it just sits over top. Head goes on, and then you got your choice of arm display. So you got two right arms, one with the lightsaber hand and one with the fist. So I'm going to go with the fist option here. And you can see it's got a peg here, and that's for the electrical connection. There's no light up feature in this arm, but there is for the lightsaber hand, obviously, and that's what powers the lightsaber itself. So you just fit it into the hole here. Make sure you get the peg all the way in. So nice sturdy fit there. Then I would probably go with the belt next. And there's actually a light up feature for the belt. There's a little switch on the back. There's actually also a little compartment on the side where you can change the batteries. Now these batteries are starting to die, so the light up feature may die partway through the video, but I'll turn it on anyways. And there you can see that the green lights and the red lights light up. So it's just a Velcro strap, and you just fit it around the waist here. Just give it a nice tight fit in the back. There we go. Next, you'll want the chest box. And again, there's a light up feature that I mentioned. You can unscrew the back panel to replace the battery if you like. So it just fits in with a magnet, a little switch on the back. Flip that on and you can see the flashing pattern here and the little Arabesh inscriptions below each flashing light. So nice accurate chest box there, and you just slide that into place there like that. And then you've got several options to go for the right arm. I think I showed you, the force claw here in the last segment, so we'll go with something else here. And another sort of force usage hand here, and it just fits in with a magnet on the side like so. So again, he looks very intimidating, like he's using his force powers. And then you can switch that out if you like. It's a fairly strong magnet there, so just give it a little tug. And you've got also the pointing finger. I like to call this the Joey Tribbiani how you doing finger. So you can go with that too. This is probably my least favorite option, but I'll show you what it looks like anyways. Again, just fits in with a magnet like so. So lots of options. The lightsaber hand is a little tricky to get on. Where did I put the other one? Here we go. So you kind of have to put them on sort of at the same time because the handle of the lightsaber fits up into the hand, on the left hand like that, and you just slide them in. So can be a little bit tricky, but definitely doable. Just take your time. And then the lightsaber itself just plugs into the end of the handle. So nice quality piece. It has a really nice weight to it. Parts feel very nice and solid. The mask, the head is nice and heavy. One of the complaints about the Sideshow piece was that it felt kind of plasticky. This one doesn't feel like that at all. A couple little nitpicks here though is with the lightsaber option, the arm coming across the front of the chest blocks the access to the chest box. So you can't easily turn the lights on and off when you're using that pose, which is I think a little bit of an oversight there. Also, the light up on the belt, you have to physically take it off to get access to the switch on the back. So maybe a slight oversight. That's not too difficult, but the chest box, like I said, you absolutely cannot get that in or out without pulling the arms off when you're displaying the lightsaber. So that's too bad. But what can you do? It is a pretty cool pose if you decide to go that way. I mentioned the extra lightsaber earlier, so you want to forget to put that on the belt. I've did that 1,000 times so far taking pictures, so I've learned my lesson. Don't forget the lightsaber on the belt when you're doing one of these options for the pose. There is a light up feature for the base, so there's a switch just in the back, a little black switch. You just push it, the light lights up, and that's what also powers the lightsaber. So when you flick that switch on the base, the lightsaber will turn on when you're using that option. The base takes, I believe, 3 AA batteries, so it's all battery powered, all replaceable batteries, all accessible batteries, so that is a nice feature for all the light up. The packaging is pretty good. As you can see, the box here, it's actually quite a bit smaller box than I was expecting because this is a pretty large statue actually. It comes with this assembly guide here, and it runs through in several different languages how to set it up. It talks about the different features of the suit and how they've tried to match it to the movie and everything. So I'll give that a quick read. It's got some neat information in there. But as I said, production and build quality is really, really good on this statue. Just a couple little oversights, as I said, with accessing the light up features. But other than that, top-notch quality here from Iron Studios, so not to worry. Okay everybody, right before we wrap up, I just wanted to show you how the lightsaber plugs into the top of the handle. There's just a little metal peg on the front, and you just plug it into a hole there in the handle. Slides nice and easily into place, and you can turn it on with the switch on the base. I'll do my best lightsaber sound effect here. There we go. You've turned it on, and it lights up the lightsaber and the light on the front of the base at the same time. So, Iron Studios Darth Vader. Now, Iron Studios, as I mentioned off the top, had a little bit of a rough go last year, a little bit of a PR hit with their Spider-Man statue. Didn't quite meet expectations of most collectors, but they've been slowly regaining traction in the industry since then. They've got some really good Civil War 1/4 scale statues, but that by all accounts turned out really well. They've got their 1/3 scale Batman statue that came out this year that looks really, really nice as well. But with Darth Vader, I think this is perhaps their flagship piece. Darth Vader, ultra popular. As I said off the top, I mean, almost everyone in the world knows who Darth Vader is. So this was a really important piece for them, and I think it turned out fantastic. It just, everything about it. The paint is excellent. The mixed media, excellent. I think the movie accuracy is really good. You've got lots of display options. You know, the light up feature, even though there's a little bit of an issue getting access, as you can see, I cannot get that chest box off in this display option. But that said, the light up feature looks really nice when it's on. So I think it's just a fantastic piece. I think that Iron Studios really has made a big statement to collectors that they're going to pay more attention to quality, and if most of their pieces come out as good as this guy, I think there's nothing to worry about, and I would say that they're back on top of their game. So Iron Studios did a wonderful job here. Great piece. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. Of course, I will have more for you coming out soon, and of course stay tuned for the Statue Awards coming up in January, and we'll have more information rolling out about that throughout December, so you can get ready to tell us which is your favorite statue of 2017. So, will this guy be on there? We'll have to wait and see. I think it's fantastic, and again, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon.